After Charlie Kirk, 31, was shot and killed on September 10, 2025, a number of public personalities and celebrities have voiced their opinions. On this week's Jinger and Jeremy podcast, which is hosted by Jinger Duggar and Jeremy Vuolo, they talked about Charlie's death and how incredibly strong they believe his widow Erika has been. When discussing Charlie's death, Jeremy and Jinger highlighted how Erika's comments to the media in the days after Charlie's passing had a particularly negative impact on them. The most difficult part, according to Jeremy, was when Erika made a moving statement 2 days following her husband's death. This remark was made by Jeremy throughout the show, and she just composed herself and made an impactful statement. During her speech, Erika talked about her 3-year-old stepdaughter and how she handled Charlie's loss when the young child asked where her father was. Together, Erika and Charlie are parents of 2 kids. Jinger got really agitated as she read this passage from her speech on the podcast. Our daughter Gigi leaped into my arms the moment she got home last night. When she mentioned how much she missed her mother throughout our talk, I replied, "I miss you too, baby." In her remarks, Erika echoed this viewpoint. "Where are you, Daddy?" she asks. What is necessary for a 3-year-old to hear? She is 3 years old. And then I said, "It's because of your blueberry budget that your daddy is on a business trip with Jesus. He loves you so much, baby." When Jeremy had to stop listening to Erika's narrative about her child losing her father, he said he was in the car with his kids, Felicity and Evangeline. Jeremy said, "I think a work trip with Jesus is a great answer. Man, you just deal with things differently now that you have children. Only from their point of view can you see it." The Duggars' public statements, friendships, and even the smallest actions are all subject to criticism from both fans and detractors. Jeremy, the husband of Jinger Duggar Vuolo, recently made headlines when he openly praised Erika, the widow of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, for her courage and tenacity during an unimaginable period of bereavement. The tribute, which focused on the decisions made by Erika, Jeremy, and Jinger to live out their faith by a public witness, was heartfelt and personal. More attention should be paid to this story than just the headline. The Duggar children's development into their own persons reflects concepts of bravery, trust, friendship, and the unique world they inhabit. We can better understand Jeremy's comments and Jinger's victorious presence by looking at the interwoven network of relationships, influences, and meanings. From deacon to public figure. Jeremy Vuolo's journey. Jeremy Vuolo's Duggar-in-laws have long observed his unusual behavior. Preacher and former professional soccer player Jeremy has always felt at ease introducing his fervent Christian convictions into discussions about culture. The newlyweds, who married Jinger Duggar in 2016, have created a life in Los Angeles that reflects their individuality while remaining loyal to their traditional values. Jeremy's admiration for Erika Kirk was in line with his typical personality. He has been rather honest on this subject over the years and has urged his followers to maintain their faith in the face of insurmountable challenges. Charlie Kirk's passing shocked many in the religious and political communities, and many turned their attention to Erika's courage at the time. More than just a personal remark, Jeremy's highlighting of Erika's resilience was a show of solidarity and recognition of the kind of fortitude that Jeremy and Jinger have come to respect. Erika Kirk. Resilience despite misfortune. Erika Kirk suffered a sudden and devastating blow when she became a widow. She had to deal with a new and terrible reality in the spotlight after losing Charlie, her life partner and well-known figure. Jeremy's homage presented Erika as more than simply Charlie's widow. He emphasized her courage, her honesty in dealing with loss, and her faith despite sorrow. His words had weight because they were consistent with the widespread view that one should turn to God in difficult circumstances. Jeremy's statements humanize a family that is all too often viewed through the lens of politics and celebrity, according to several admirers who expressed empathy. People were thus reminded that, behind the news, there are real people coping with terrible losses. Jinger, a trustworthy husband's silent friend. As news spread about Jeremy's dedication, Jinger Duggar Vuolo became the focus of attention. Would she say anything? Will she back off? Conversely, would she quietly support her husband? The answer was obvious. Jinger was rather proud. Her presence, whether in the form of brief social media exchanges, likes, or straightforward photos taken next to Jeremy, shouted more than any lengthy public declaration she would have made on her own. As the Duggar daughter who doesn't hesitate to defy some of the more strict family rules, Jinger has gained notoriety in recent years. Her choices to leave Arkansas and to write candidly about her spiritual journey are examples of her courage and independence. Her support for Jeremy, however, has remained consistent throughout. As before, she was silent but steadfast in her support during this period. While allowing Jeremy to take the lead verbally, she demonstrated her loyalty in action. Her supporters praised her for achieving this peaceful balance, which they saw as a sign of marital deference. The connection among the Duggars. Any public remarks made by a member of the Duggar family would undoubtedly draw attention to the other members of the family. Despite their possible lack of a direct tie, the Arkansas family clearly reflects Erika Kirk's cultural influences. In conservative Christian societies, relationships carry a great deal of symbolic weight, and both families are part of these circles. Jeremy presented the Vuolos in a favorable light, presenting them as kind friends and leaders who are willing to acknowledge the accomplishments of others. For a family that has long been criticized for their faults or silence, moments like this offer a new way of engaging with the outside world. It also demonstrated Jinger's transformation from a reclusive young woman who strictly followed the Duggar dating norms. She now stands behind her husband, who is making national statements, and joyfully accepts the life they have built together. Fence reaction, contention, and accolades. As is often the case with Duggar, the views of supporters were far from unanimous. His supporters praised Jeremy's sensitivity and character, noting that he addressed the human side of loss without resorting to political rhetoric. Others complimented Jinger, highlighting her maturity and grace in her quiet pride in her husband. Critics questioned Jeremy's seeming bias, speculating that his public acclaim might be an attempt to fortify his connections to conservative influence networks. Navigating the intersection of faith, family, and public life has long been a part of the Vuolo's journey. Yet, the incident sparked discussion regardless of how it was interpreted. The significance of this second, Erika Kirk's compliments from Jeremy Vuolo go beyond a quick social media post. A living proof of the influence of religion. In honor of Erika, Jeremy raised awareness of a core Christian principle, that we can overcome hardship by having faith. A marriage partnership model. Given the strains that families endure, Jinger's subtly evident pride gave credence to the notion of a partnership that supports both parties. Searching for one's identity outside of the Duggars. By engaging with others outside of the Duggar bubble, the Vuolos are creating their own distinct voice in the wider Christian community. Closeness to upcoming events. Even while the Vuolos' public lives will surely continue to be in the public eye, this incident highlights their preferred public image. That of a couple who travel through life together, of friends and family who are there to support one another through difficult times, and of a couple who support one another. Although Jeremy's comments were merely a tribute to Erika Kirk, they provided their friends and followers with an insight into the types of individuals Jinger and Jeremy hope to become. It is clear that Jinger Duggar and her husband are leaving a legacy of kindness and liberation from the past as they stand strong side by side.